Last week, we talked about a few of the main benefits of working in voiceover and the freedoms that you can experience as a voiceover actor. But like anything in life, there's also the flip side or the cons of the job, the side that not too many people talk about. So today we're going to be going over some of the downsides of working in voiceover. That's what's coming up on this episode of the podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Voice Acting 101 podcast. I'm Jason. This is episode number 34. If you missed last week's episode on the benefits of voiceover, make sure that you check that out. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. And that talks about the benefits of voiceover, which is great, but it wouldn't be an accurate picture of voiceover if I didn't also cover the other side, the downsides of working in voiceover. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into it, just a quick reminder, I've got a free guide available to download. It's called The 5 Steps to Voiceover Success. I hope that you get it, and I hope that it helps you. It's available at voiceacting101.com/get started. It covers a 5-step plan to becoming successful in voiceover. And you can get the answers to a lot of beginner questions, including like what gear to start with, questions on improving your performance, creating your demo. It's going to take you all the way through finding voiceover work, and it'll help you no matter where you are in your voiceover journey. So you can go get that at voiceacting101.com/get started. Okay, let's get into it. These are the things that some people dislike about voiceover, and I've noticed it in my own voiceover career over the years and also after working with others to help them build a voiceover business. All right, so the first downside, at least for some people, is that voiceover is a business. In other words, it's not just your voice, it's not a hobby, it's not just for fun, but it's a real business that needs to run. And because it's a business, it's going to take time to build it. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. No overnight successes, no get-rich-quick schemes. It's going to take time. And typically, in the beginning at least, it's just you. So it's a one-person business, and there's a lot to learn. It's not just using your voice. The business side of voiceover, is also going to include things like setting up your studio, using and being comfortable with new technology, decision-making. That's a big one because you're making a lot of decisions about your business, spending money where you need to, saving money where you can, figuring out what to charge with your rates, making sure that you've got work coming in, marketing, delivering the work, billing for the work, knowing the answers to client questions that come up from time to time, paying taxes, and then just, overall building an efficient system of the whole process that continues to work day after day, week after week, so you can reduce problems and, make tweaks where you need to. You are running the show, so you need to be able to prevent getting distracted from things that make no difference. That's hard to do, especially nowadays with social media and all the stuff that's thrown at us, so that you can focus on what is most important and the things that are going to make a difference in your business. No one's going to care more about your business than you, so all of this responsibility is going to fall on you, and that can feel overwhelming, especially if you're a creative type person. But my suggestion is just to take it one step at a time. First off, I think it's great to have the full picture of voiceover, to know exactly what you're going to do, so you know where you're going and where you're going to end up. That's like with anything in life, you want to know where you're going to end up and how do you get there. But you need to then break down that big picture into simple steps. So I would suggest just doing some research specific to the step that you're on or the next step that you need to take in your voiceover journey. Now, hopefully some of the other podcast episodes are going to help you. There's also several articles on voiceacting101.com that can help give you some guidance. But as the one in charge of your business, you're going to eventually realize, if you haven't yet, that your time is best spent recording voiceover. Anytime that you're behind the mic, that's the best use of your time. So if it isn't something that's absolutely necessary in your business, I would suggest eliminating that. If you need it done, but it doesn't necessarily have to be you being the one who's doing it, I would suggest hiring someone to do it. And if there's an app or a tool that's going to automate it, make it simpler, and make it more consistent maybe, then I would suggest getting that app to save you time. So that's the first downside to working in voiceover. It is a business, and you are running it, and some people love that, and other people struggle with that. And really, it's a freedom, that's a freedom to be the one that has to make all the decisions in your business. But if you don't break it down into steps that you can manage, then it's going to feel overwhelming. The next downside to voiceover is that not only is it a business you have to run, it is a service-based business. So you have to provide a service, which is recording voiceover, in order to be paid. which is the exact opposite of passive income, where you do something once and it continues to pay over and over again. So this is a service-based business. Now, there are cases where maybe you record an audiobook and you're getting royalty payments or ongoing payments based on sales, or usage fees when you record like a commercial once and it's used for longer terms and you end up getting income from that one-time recording. But in general, you have to be recording voiceover to earn income. That means if you get sick, if you sound congested, if you want to take a vacation, those are times when you won't be providing your service, which means you won't be earning income. So my suggestion would be to remember that your voice is your moneymaker. So do whatever you need to do to prevent getting sick in the first place. I would suggest eating well, exercising, drinking a lot of water, not overstressing your vocal cords, whether you're in or out of the studio. Don't go to a sporting event and just scream your lungs out and stress your vocal cords and then come back in the studio and not be able to perform. But there are times where you can't help it. You're going to get sick. So if you do get sick, just let the clients know up front. You want to keep that communication open with them so that they can adjust, whatever the project is. You want them to be able to adjust. And that may mean that you lose the job and they use someone else that time. But what I've found is that many times clients are going to wait for you to get better as long as you keep them updated. So you've got to keep that communication open and just keep them updated on your status. Same thing with vacations. I'm big on taking time off and going on true vacations where you're not working. And as long as you keep your clients in the know, if you give them enough notice before you actually take the time off, the work is probably going to be there waiting for you when you get back. Now, because of the unknowns when it comes to getting sick or just the highs and lows of running a service-based business in general, I recommend that you build up a nice savings account so that if you're out of work for a week or two, either because of a sickness or a vacation, or maybe it's just a slow time for business, it's not going to make that much of a difference because you have enough in savings to get you through that slow time or that time that you're going to take off or need to take off. So I would say 6 months to a year of your expenses and include your paycheck in that. That would be a great place to start. I can discuss the ins and outs of having a savings account in another episode, but this is money that you have in reserves and it's going to help you through some of these unknowns in voiceover. It's going to take that stress away. Okay, and one final downside to working in voiceover, and that is rejection, or what feels like rejection. So the truth is, it's normal to have to record and submit many auditions before you land a job. So this means that you're going to be spending a lot of time auditioning because every audition is a chance at a paid job. And there are some days where every audition that I record seems to turn into a job, but there are also other days where every audition leads to nothing but silence. And when you don't get the job, you won't know why. There's no feedback. If this happens too many times in a row, you're going to start to question yourself, and then you'll just feel burned out from auditioning so much. So you need to be confident in your service, knowing that you provide high-quality voiceover, you're following direction, and you're submitting great auditions in order to land those jobs. And also knowing that you won't be a perfect fit for every script that comes along. Now, if none of your auditions are leading to jobs, then maybe you need some coaching or an evaluation to get you on the right track. But to prevent burnout, I would say just don't be tied to an audition. If you submit the audition, just do your best, send it off, and forget about it. I think auditioning daily is great practice. You're going to have scripts and you're going to be auditioning for roles that you never would have thought of on your own. So it's a way to challenge yourself every day. Now, you can reduce the chance of audition burnout by going to a less competitive area for work. One way to do that is to find work locally. That way you're not competing against some of the best out there. Also, keep in mind that every job that you do land, ideally you want to convert them to a client because clients are going to come back to you when they need voiceover again. And the more repeat clients you have, the less auditioning you're going to have to do. The jobs are just going to be there waiting for you. So in that sense, you're not auditioning as often. So there you go, a few of the downsides of working in voiceover, but hopefully I've given you some different ways to look at them and ways to overcome them, get past them. All right, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know, what is your least favorite thing about working in voiceover? Also, of course, if you have a question for the podcast, I'd love to hear your voice. You can upload your voiceover question at voiceacting101.com/ask. That's it for this episode. Thanks for checking it out. Have a great week. Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of the podcast. If you want to see another video, there's one waiting for you right here, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel down in the corner. Or if you want to learn the 5 steps to becoming a voice actor, check out this free guide. It's available to download from voiceacting101.com/get started. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you next time. See ya.